I had a good friend who died this week. His name was Brian McDonald, and I hadn't seen Brian too much over the last, you know, 8, 9 years, I think. Just occasionally at church when I visited Indianapolis or other times. But there was a time when we spent lots of time together back in Indianapolis, and he's been up here a few times. We've been out to their family cabin out on the lake. But I always enjoyed my conversations. I enjoyed a great deal of input from him. We would get together in a little group. We called ourselves the Inklings after C.S. Lewis in that group because we'd get together and read our stuff and just kind of share some thoughts and have a little cheese and wine and lots of conversation. And those were really, really good times. And I just am gonna miss that. Um, he was a good man, and we didn't always agree on everything, but we could talk about it civilly and with great fun. Um, and it just it's hard to talk about, but so it made me think about well death among other things and the limited time that we have in this life, and kind of revisits a lot of those old universal questions like what about this world? Why is it here? Who am I? And is there an afterlife? And what's the point of it all? Um, anyway, I've got an old poem that I looked at. Haven't visited this thing in a while, and I wrote this back in the 80s. I am a Christian, and my views have changed quite a bit over the years. Lots of reasons for that, lots of reasons to doubt, and I'm still not sure of everything, and I've got lots of questions. But I hang on to my Christianity, and I had a dream shortly after a huge blow up from my EOC days, and um, I couldn't quite figure it out for the longest time. But the dream was one where I've written about it before, but I in my dream I was like underwater, and I could see the rippling of the water and the sun shining on those ripples, and I could see then eventually the bow of a little boat of some kind, or not the bow, but the belly of a little boat, and I'm looking up from the water and seeing all this, and then I see that there's a man in the boat, and he's of course dressed like Jesus, like the Galilean, and he's up there, and it seems to me that he tosses the net out, and but he calls to me and he says to me, "Come back, little fish. I will not let you go." And I woke up crying from the dream, and I don't know what that means or what that's all about, but it felt kind of like a message, like maybe it's my subconscious, but it felt, I don't know, felt more to me. So I have stuck with Christianity, unsure of how it fits in with our modern world or my changing experiences of life, but I stick with it. And the Christians believe that there is an afterlife. I've often thought that some Christians believe for all different kinds of reasons. You know, some even maybe for wanting riches in the next life. You know, I've got my mansion and my pearly gates, and it's like, but that seems false to me. Like, you know, just a delusion, just a new kind of materialism that's reborn in the next. And it seems to me if you don't want God, if that's not your principal point, it's like, well, it makes no sense. Sometimes I think we want to see people we've lost in life, and heaven is the result of denial and bargaining. Like, if I'm just good, I'll have that person back again, or I refuse to believe that this is all there is. I can't deal with giving up this person, and so we create heaven and we create an idea like that. But there's another part of me that says there must be something more. You know, that all that exists in this world is not without meaning. It hints of very, very deep meaning. And, my belief is that we wake up to that in this life, that we begin in our biological bodies, but somewhere along the line, we grow beyond the biological body. We wake up to something transcendent or something beyond this life, and we begin to attach ourselves to that. That, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about it all. And in which case, if I'm gone one of these days. And, that's, I'll never know. Anyway, but I do believe in a resurrection. Christians believe that when you die, your soul goes to heaven or to God, or, and it's kind of a mystery what all that is. And one day the body raises up. They believe that because Jesus himself resurrected from the dead as a model for all of that. So whether anybody out there besides me believes that, I have a lot of friends who are atheists, and that's fine. You have to figure out whatever it is life is about for you. It's just where I am, and if I'm your friend, then you'll know I'm not attacking anybody by saying this is what I think. And I don't even exactly fall squarely in the vision of most Christians, especially the fundamentalists. But I think there are lots of things in this life that hint at something beyond. Art kind of does that. When we see a painting, why does it strike us as beautiful or meaningful? Or why does it strike us as dark or haunting, or any of those kinds of things that art does? It's communicating, and we feel it in our emotional responses to it. And maybe there are biological reasons for that, but there seems to be something more. An artist is communicating on a whole nother level. And, why do we say something is beautiful? What's behind the beauty? What strikes us? That's transcendent. I think there is something transcendent. It's defined differently from culture to culture. What's beautiful in another culture is not beautiful to me, but beauty is there. And whatever strikes them, strikes them. And I don't know, maybe we're biologically pre-programmed to see that, but I kind of think there's more to it than that, especially for a human being. And maybe even in some animals, that maybe there's a spirituality that the elephants experience, or maybe all creatures are endowed with something, some urge, something that propels them beyond just their instincts, to greater and lesser degrees. I cannot speak for the animals or the whales, which are deep, or the dolphins, which are intelligent, even octopus. The octopi are amazing just in their short period of life. And I'm rambling. My point is, I'm asking lots of questions, and as I reflected back, there's a poem that I've written. It's called The Resurrection. And it isn't so much that the resurrection is physical or only physical, but it's the thing that we get resurrected to, the thing beyond, the thing, I don't know. It's a poem that, that's the thing about poetry, is we want to push words to take us beyond the words themselves to some other point, using those words to take us into something deeper, pushing those words to mean more than just what's on paper. This is called The Resurrection. And I'm thinking about Brian. It is the unexpected satisfaction after all that pain. I have tasted the sweetest wine and felt the caress of a tender love. In my mind, I see an open window through which the summer wind blows, and the lace curtains move in slow and silent promenade. Outside, the sun is high and hot and hallowed. The house is quiet except for the ticking of a clock. The dog and the cat are asleep. I cannot move. I do not want to disturb this moment. It is the resurrection. And it doesn't come with a fanfare of trumpets. Rather, it is gentle, warm, and quiet. It is curtains in a slow and silent promenade on a summer's breeze. Our bodies move on. doing all the things that bodies do, going about the business of the world. But the mind remembers the moment which the heart can hold forever. And when bodies are done doing all the things that bodies do, that moment which has held the heart shall hold the body too.